Patricky Pitbull versus Peter Queally. Interesting matchup in the lightweight division. For Pitbull, has not fought since his Ryzen tournament loss against a guy who hasn't fought since then either, but Tofik Musayev, who's definitely a hot prospect and somebody to keep an eye on when he does make his return. Look at Patricky Pitbull, 35 years of age now, has always been top of the top in Bellator. Unfortunately, never was able to win that belt. His brother was, the one that became champion, but he's been a contender. He's had fights with Michael Chandler, fought against Benson Henderson, and other notable names throughout MMA. I mean, the guy has been in there with high-level guys time and time again. His last win in Bellator was against Ryan Scope by a split decision. You look at Peter Queally, on the other hand, has had some up and down result, but his last fight, he actually got a knockout win over Ryan Scope in that matchup, the same guy that Patricky went to a split decision with. Not saying MMA math works here, but I think we have to acknowledge that Peter Queally is a stern test. He's an aggressive Thai-style striker. He has pretty good hands, and he likes to switch the stances up as he will throw straights entering the pocket. This does work pretty effectively. Now, against Pitbull, the counter-striking fear is definitely going to be there. 15 wins by knockout and very good boxing. Pitbull is a knockout artist. I mean, he's a knockout puncher for sure. But as of late, hasn't shown that same power. He's over the age of 35 now, or at least 35 years of age now. Also, Peter Queally never being finished. I think this is a close and competitive fight. I think it's a stern test for Patricky Pitbull. I don't think he's an absolute lock. And at the minus 300 money, if I'm a betting man, I'm dog or passing it because I don't feel supreme confidence in Patricky here. I think Queally at the plus 225 has some good value if you don't want to throw the house down on him. But I think he can win a split decision over Patricky. I still feel that Patricky could get the knockout. He definitely could. But recent results in the Bellator have been mixed. Granted, he has some finishes inside of Ryzen over a year ago. Yes, the competition in Bellator, he had some close fights. Does he go out there and put a beating on Peter Queally? He absolutely could. But hasn't looked like the same Patricky that we saw years ago, knocking out a lot of the contenders. Doesn't seem to have that same finishing ability, at least in Bellator. I mean, you look, he did get finishes over in Ryzen. He did knock out Roger Huerta, but what is that worth at this point? That's, a couple years ago now. I think this fight probably goes the distance in a competitive fashion. I think Queally can push him to a close decision and maybe get the split here, but I will say I am fearful that on the scorecards, even if slightly edged out by Peter Queally, the longtime Bellator veteran Patricky Pitbull could get the win. So take those things into note if you're a betting man and you're throwing some money down on this fight. Fight goes the distance, prop is plus 150. If you don't want to risk the judges, I think we have a good chance of this fight going the distance here. I don't know necessarily if Queally has the power to put down Patricky, and I don't really know if Patricky still has that same knockout power. Now, we could be completely off here, and Pitbull could show up looking renewed, but this is just from what we've seen lately, and from what he's shown us lately, this could be a very competitive fight here with Peter Queally. But that is pretty much it for this video. Check out the full card predictions if you're looking for breakdowns, predictions, and betting previews of the fights that were not covered on these individual videos. Like and subscribe. Also, follow my social media too if you guys want to check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I will see you all in the next video.